I'm Bruce on the Loose, and this show goes ahead and tells about a lot of different people in government and business, and now we're going to look at the educational area. We have with us to my immediate left here is Amanda Reed, and she is going to have the new program in medical technology. Roger Wright, the director of the Four Cities Educational Compact, and Tricia Plesher, and she is going to be with the Teacher Academy. Everyone, thanks so much for joining me, and I do these shows because I learned so much about Wadsworth and the school system and business, etc. So thank you very much. Roger, I was involved in a program on May 20th, and it was at the middle school. Can you tell me a little bit about why you did that?
Are you referring to the Reality Day program?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Well, that is a great financial literacy program that we do at the middle schools. We do it at all 4 middle schools in the compact, where the students learn a good lesson from their teachers. It's a week long, where they learn about financial literacy and personal spending decisions. And then it culminates in the Reality Day activity that you helped us with, where the students have to go station to station, spending their money on real life things like groceries and food and rent and all that stuff, and then they try. The goal of the game is to see if they can finish the month with some money left over in their budget. So it's really a good game, and we appreciate the good community support we get from people like you.
It really is a reality check on, I was the transportation czar, and sometimes as the kids winded through their stations, some didn't have very much money left, and they either were walking or said, maybe I'll get a bike or something. So they didn't really have much money. Maybe they spent too much in other areas, but it was a check on what their parents go through.
Yeah, every month. So we do that in all 4 districts, and again, it's a great program. We have updated materials that kind of reflect modern costs of the expenses like transportation, and the students always have a lot of fun with it, and they learn.
I know, Roger, you're really trying to look at expanding the programs over the last several years, and the Four Cities Educational Compact comprises Norton and Barberton, and who am I forgetting?
Copley and Wadsworth. Yep.
What percentage of those kids do you think get jobs in their particular field?
Well, it varies, and the big thing that we track for 2 years out, once a student graduates, we look at their, they will respond to their teachers and say if they're going to college, 2 or 4 year college, if they're working a job, and if they are working a job, if it's within their career field. So it varies among, we have 21 different programs, so it varies among those. Some of our programs are very much geared towards students going to 4 year college. You know, probably Tricia's new teacher program is going to be one in which, most of the students are going to graduate and they're going to go to 4 year college to get their teaching degree. But then we have a program maybe like our carpentry program, where a lot of the seniors will graduate and then they'll go right into the workforce. They'll have jobs lined up. And Amanda's new program with the medical technologies, that's probably be a little bit of both. We'll probably have some students that want to go right to work in a healthcare setting upon graduation, and we'll probably have some students that are going to go on to 2 or 4 year colleges.
So it's a mixed bag all the way, depending on the program.
It is, but overall, Bruce, I'd say it's about 50-50.
Wow.
Where between students going right into the workforce and students that graduate from the compact that go to college.
Tricia, could you tell us a little bit about your educational background?
Sure. Well, first I'll say that I am a local girl. I was born and raised in this area and went to school in this area. My first background, I did get my bachelor's degree from Kent and my master's from Akron, so I'm very, very locally oriented in my education. But I have been teaching for the past 15 years at Norton High School, and most of my days have been comprised teaching English. I'm an English teacher, but I've also taught a lot of electives like creative writing, intro to theater, argumentation, intro to speech, so I'm really into communication. In fact, I am also the director of our theater program at Norton, and I'm the head coach of the speech and debate team. So I keep busy.
Yeah, wide background, and certainly those backgrounds really have provided a good foundation for this move. And why did you decide to throw your hat in the ring and decide to be the first Teacher Academy teacher?
How thrilling to be the first teacher. But I tell you, an opportunity like this doesn't come around a lot for teachers. Once you get in your groove and your content area, then that's what you teach. So when this opportunity came up, I thought, what a cool opportunity to give back to the education field, by helping to recruit and form and develop new teachers. So I jumped on it as soon as I saw that it was available, and I'm just thrilled to have been given this opportunity.
Not a lot of vocational schools have a teacher academy affiliated with it. I know Medina County does it. Did you try to get some ideas from those areas that do have such a program?
We did. In fact, Roger came with me to a couple other schools. We reached out to other programs, and what I have found is that the career tech field is it's a close-knit community where people are so willing to help and support each other and help new programs. We talked to a teacher at Kent City Schools, at Canton City Schools, and they've turned me on to other people across the state who have programs like this, and people have been really willing to support and share. Lots of good ideas out there.
Roger, these programs don't begin overnight. Could you tell us a little bit about the steps that you took along the way to go ahead and develop these two programs?
Yeah, really a neat process, and it was a long time coming, and that's why we're so excited. Norton's probably been talking for 4 or 5 years about wanting to do a new program, and the Teacher Academy is perfect. But what we did was we did a survey. We've done several surveys, parents, students, community members. We look at high wage, high skill, in-demand jobs, those reports, and then we also talk to local employers of what types of jobs they're trying to fill. And so really it's all those things that went into what program we would add. But we did on the survey, Teaching Academy came in high. The medical professions, we already have 4 programs in the healthcare pathway, but still that's such a big industry area in Northeast Ohio with all the good hospitals and healthcare that we have. So really, everything kind of lined up that those 2 new programs with the Teacher Academy, being popular, and years ago, Bruce, the compact used to have a teacher program. It was at Wadsworth, and then that kind of went away at the late 90s with budget cuts. It was a popular program. It was just a matter where the teacher was retiring, and it was a cut that had to be made in the district at the time. So we're really excited to bring that back. And then, with Amanda, there was a medical assist program at Wadsworth High School a few years back, and that kind of went away. But the lab here was built for that, so it really made a lot of sense. It was, to bring that back. The need is there. We've got a great teacher to teach it, so we're really excited to bring that one back as well.
Were Dr. Hill and the board on board for these 2 new programs as well?
Very much, and I really want to credit the Norton board too, because they really, when I came to the compact, it was the Norton board that said, what can we, they only had a couple programs. They really wanted to make more of a commitment to the compact, so they were really interested, so we're excited about that. But the Wadsworth board has always been so supportive. We had the house auction the other night, and we had several of the board members were there. Jill Stevens and Linda Kramer and Julie Beatty were all there supporting the sale of the house, and just so many positive comments. Amanda and the board has made over the past few months about the house and promoting the sale, and Gary and everybody. So I want to thank all of them.
You piqued my interest, big man. What about how much did it sell for? And I imagine that the proceeds maybe help subsequent houses down the road. Is that right?
Yeah, they do. So we were really fortunate, and the house was beautiful this year. It sold for $335,000. So we got good money for it. You get to see some pictures here of the house, but it was a beautiful big ranch, 2,300 square feet, 3 bedrooms, deck in front, deck in the back, patio in the back. There's a picture of some of our seniors and Mr. Kali and Chris Kali Jr. That built the home, but they just did a fantastic job. So yeah, the money we raised from the sale, and Dave Kaufman, want to thank Dave Kaufman, Kaufman Realty, always donates his time. there. But the money that we raise goes into the project for next year, and it's really just a wonderful thing. A lot of smiles Tuesday night there, and real happy for the Lewis family.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much for that. And again, it's a tradition that the carpentry class has done that. And what practical experience they have. It really, with the supervision of the teacher, and they do it the right way, and that's very, very important.
Yeah, to build it from the ground up is an amazing thing, and then to see it sold is really a fun thing for the students.
Amanda, could we talk to you for a minute and get your medical background?
Sure. So my medical background actually starts with the Four Cities Compact. I'm a graduate of the Compact in the Advancement to Nursing program.
Right.
I had a great experience there, went on to get my Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree at Kent State University, and I have a Master of Science in Nursing degree as well. I worked at Suma Health System as a registered nurse. I took care of patients in the emergency department, medical surgical areas, and cardiac step-down areas. And I went on to become a unit director of a 32-bed cardiac step-down unit there. For the last 5 years, I've been working for the Cleveland Clinic in their quality improvement department, so supporting a variety of departments and disciplines in the healthcare field to improve their processes and the care they provide.
That's certainly, like Tricia, you have a wide background of medical experiences, and I'm sure that the students will benefit from that. And what are some of the programs that you will be promoting?
Sure. So we're going to introduce students to a variety of knowledge and skills that they would need in any healthcare career. So we'll be doing communication, safety, basic patient care, medical terminology, anatomy and physiology. So some of the careers that students could go on to, it could be nursing, it could be a doctor, but it could be radiology or laboratory, medical assisting, nursing assistant, home health care. Students interested in dentistry or pharmacy could certainly also benefit from this program. The needs of healthcare employers are changing constantly, so they could be prepared for jobs that really don't even exist yet. I mean, it's really an evolving career space to be in.
And I would imagine if those students get into like you said, radiology, and they find after a couple years it may be not their cup of tea, they could again move to another job in the medical field, couldn't they?
Absolutely. And once you're working for a healthcare facility, especially somewhere like a big hospital system, they will often pay for your education. If you are going to, continue on in your education or explore other career opportunities, they'll support you through that with tuition assistance. So there's a lot of benefits to going into healthcare.
Roger, what about the situation where we go ahead and you mentioned the boards of education at Norton, Wadsworth. Do you have contact with all the four boards and they give you some ideas of new programs, and you of course do the work to get those accomplished? They
do, yeah. So, and really the Four Cities Compact Board are the four superintendents. They serve as the formal compact board, and then they certainly are in tune with their school boards in each district. So it's kind of a neat thing about my job. I get to work in all four communities. All four communities are a little different, but they all have great people. There's good support of the compact throughout the four communities, and that's really what makes it work. But yeah, there's always a lot of, if I run into board members, there's always a lot of interest. There's always a lot of questions. They're always asking me what's new, what's coming, what are we looking at, and so it's really neat that we have that kind of support.
One area that really could enhance any program is the physical plant. In Norton, went ahead and built a new high school. They have maybe some area they didn't use. Barberton, a fairly new facility. Wadsworth, that really helps to have the facilities because you can't move forward without those.
Yeah, it really does, and that's what we're busy doing now, both with Trish and Amanda. The big order of business this summer is to get the lab. We've got materials ordered, furniture ordered. We want to make those labs look as appealing as we can. I always say, from a career tech standpoint, I want kids to walk into that lab and I want there to be a wow factor. I want them to feel like they are not in another classroom, because career tech classrooms are different. Mm-hmm. And if you go, the high schools are beautiful. Norton High School is a beautiful facility, and we're fortunate there in that the space that we have for the Teacher Academy was designated originally as their weight room. So it's a big space. It's a big beautiful space that we're gonna, it's a blank canvas right now, but we're gonna fill that up and make that really nice. And then Amanda's, we mentioned that room was built in this new high school for that purpose. So it's got nice cabinet space, it's got some different rooms that we can use. It has a teacher area, it has locker rooms. It really is built for that. So we're really excited to be able to fill both those spaces.
Trish, I imagine you're really on pins and needles. We're looking at July and then August. It's coming up quick. Are there some things you're a little concerned about with the supply chains and everything we're hearing with the pandemic related? Do you think things are going to be A-okay and you're positive?
Hey, I got to stay positive. If you're an educator, if you're in education, you got to be positive all the time. And I know we have supply chain issues, but we've been staying on it, and I've been assured that we will have a classroom and all of the things will be delivered. Our classroom is, like Roger was saying, it's going to have the wow factor. It's going to be, in fact, I tell all my colleagues, come visit me because I'm going to have the coolest classroom in the building, because we're going to have, it's not going to look just like a high school classroom or an elementary classroom or a middle school classroom. It's going to look like all of those. It's going to look very dynamic. There'll be different areas set up where students can practice and learn and drill things from different points of view developmentally from children's educational point of view. So it's going to be there. It's going to happen, and I'm positive.
Since you mentioned about the development of children, we know that we have certainly the elementary in Wadsworth K through 4. We're looking forward to the development of a new 5 and 6 building. We have a 7 and 8, 9 through 12, and all those age levels have different requirements for those students to be successful. How do you balance that, and good luck coordinating those teachers and their skills? It's a monumental task.
It is, and I'm really looking forward to it. I love the challenge. I love working with people and our staff, so it's going to be fun coordinating that. I already have over 24 teachers across the district at Norton who have come forward and said, I sent a survey out who wants to be involved in this program, who would like to have these students into their classrooms. And like I say, I already have over 24 teachers that are interested in helping out and being a part of that. I've had people from other schools in the compact say, hey, Tricia, I hear you're doing this program. We'd also like to be involved too. Is there any way we can get your students to come out to our schools? So even beyond Norton, I've got a lot of teachers who are involved in being part of it. It's exciting.
Years ago when I went to the University of Akron and I talked to my wife about this, we had one 3-hour class called Exploratory Experiences. And I went to Mogador High School and did some things, graded some papers, checked out a few classes, wasn't asked to teach any class per se. But it's something that I ended up being a teacher because I really didn't have much experience in the educational realm. Is there some students that you get into the program that said, maybe this isn't for me?
Well, I know some teachers halfway through their career, there's good days and there's bad days, and there's going to be ups and downs. And I think as their instructor and their guide, that's part of my job is to guide them through those periods and to question, because certainly the world's wide open. These are young kids, and I think that's going to be part of my job, is to show them that not every day is the best day, but tomorrow is a new day, and that we can work through those times because we have to, in the field, of course, in the medical field as well, to be able to develop students to be able to be prepared for those careers.
What an advantage, though, to have that background before they go to college. I mean, it's like night and day, and we know that now educators are asked to do all sorts of new things in our society. The violence education, the drug education. I mean, there's a lot of things thrown at teachers.
It's a lot. You're right. It's a lot. And how can we, and so much of it comes from experience. And like you say, because you can't teach all of that in a classroom. So much of it, we talk to our colleagues every day, and a lot of people will say, gosh, they didn't teach me this in college. But it's because life gives us this experience. And like you say, how valuable for the young people to be able to get this experience at this time in their lives.
Amanda, you talked for a moment during your segment about communication and your skill set in that area. It seems to be in medical, a lot of people now, older in their careers and in their lives, are asked to do walking, and they get so many tips from their medical people, and they try to adhere to that. That's really important, is it? So we can do self-help and self-medicated themselves.
Absolutely. Soft skills in healthcare are really important. So having good communication skills when you need to explain information like that to patients, but you need to explain it in a way that they understand, and you need to be able to assess that they understood. So if I tell you I need you to walk regularly, I'd be able to explain why those things are important. So yes, definitely communication with the patients that we serve and with each other is essential in healthcare. So we will spend a lot of time on those soft skills as well as the hard skills.
And it's really important for patients to go ahead, and during pandemic, a lot of people did not get checkups and delayed all sorts of blood tests, etc. And again, your communication, your students will communicate that this is vital, especially as you get up in years, to get those checks and to stay current with your medical state.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What about the situation where, how do you link up with some of the hospitals? Would you have any down the road, like SUMA or UH or Cleveland Clinic? Would you have any links with those folks?
Yes, we're very fortunate that SUMA Health System is supporting this program. They are very supportive. They have actually invited us out to their distribution center, and they're donating some equipment and supplies to our classroom, which we're really excited about. And they will be welcoming students to Barberton Hospital to come and shadow in different departments. So we're still working out the specifics, Roger and I now, but they've been great to work with so far, and we're hoping to get the students there on a rotational basis so that they can observe departments all throughout the hospital. So they may come to this class thinking they want to do this job, but I'm hoping to introduce them to jobs they didn't even know existed, and to give them the opportunity to shadow and learn as much as they can in the real healthcare setting.
In some areas like nursing and maybe some tech people, it seems like a lot of ladies do that type of work. What are you trying to do to get men? My mother was a nurse and my grandmother was a nurse, and they didn't work with too many male nurses, but the few they did said they were a godsend.
Yes, they are. I've been fortunate to work with quite a few men in my career, and they were great to work with. And many of them actually started in other careers and then came into healthcare because they realized how lucrative the field was. If you're looking for a steady job market, absolutely healthcare is the place to be. Great benefits, great pay, and a lot of flexibility. So if you need flexibility for your family, you can work any shift, throughout a 24-hour period. So there's definitely a lot of those opportunities. I think just promoting those to men, to make them aware of what those opportunities are. And the great thing about healthcare is, as you mentioned earlier, you may start in one area and then realize you want to do something else, but once you get your foot in the door, the possibilities are endless.
And again, it's advantage for SUMA to have people that are possibly employees down the road. You're showing them around and said, oh, by the way, we have a couple openings here, and when you get a couple years under your belt, it's to their advantage as well.
Absolutely. I'm a prime example of that.
Okay.
Going through that high school program in the compact, and then I went straight to working at SUMA Health System and was promoted into management. And so I hope to be able to share those experiences with the students. But absolutely, this is an opportunity for the students to network at the hospital and make those connections, and for departments to recruit for their areas.
Tricia, a lot of teachers are retiring as well. There's certainly a lot of opportunities, and I had some student teachers for a few years at Akron U, and I would talk to them about networking, how it's important not only with their mentor teacher, but also with other people in the teachers in the department, and maybe even the custodial staff, the maintenance staff. They live in the district, they know openings, and it's important to network, isn't it?
It's so important, especially, there are a lot of teachers who are retiring, but there's also, when it comes time to hire, there's always a lot of teachers, to pick from, to choose from for interviewing and hiring. So being part of this program can give these students a leg up because they'll know people in the district. It's kind of like what I tell some of my students. It's like every day you're interviewing, every day you're auditioning, every day. So show up every day and do the job, and good things will come.
I really noticed in my 6 years at Akron U, the students really were good with technology. They really excel in that area. Could you comment about that?
Well, technology, oh my gosh. I mean, you mentioned the pandemic earlier. Technology became such an essential part of teaching during 2020 because everything went online. And, even our teachers who were the most reluctant to use technology were forced into it. So technology has become a huge part of education. And absolutely, our young people in the program will begin an opportunity to explore different ways of using technology on the job.
Rogerette, I'm sure you're really excited about the 2 new programs on the horizon, and you'll be checking in with them from time to time, and it certainly seems like they've laid the foundation for successful programs.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest thing I'm so excited about are people. For Bruce, in education, the teacher is the #1 factor in the classroom. If you have a great teacher, the program will grow. And I think getting Amanda, like she said, she's come full circle. She was in the compact as a student, and that nursing program is one of the best programs we have in the compact. So to go through that and to come full circle, she has a strong desire to teach, and she's got great experiences. She's got great connections. So and she connects with students. We can see that already. And then with Tricia, a veteran educator. That's a great teacher. I've heard about her long before I knew her. Just all the great things that she's done with drama and speech and debate and her teaching, classroom teaching, and just the energy that she brings. That's who you want teaching future educators. Somebody that's passionate, that's positive, that's excited about the profession. So we've got 2 great teachers here, and I think everything else is going to fall into place. But the key pieces are sitting right next to me.
No question about it. And thanks to you for viewing Bruce on the Loose, and we'll have additional programs in the near future. Thank you.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.